Ever since I started lifting weights about a year and a couple months ago, I tried quite a few back exercises, hoping that they would grow my lats in particular and also my upper back. And after trying many different exercises and many different splits, I've sort of honed in on one specific exercise in the last couple months, which I've used to grow massive amounts of size in my back, especially my left lat has grown quite a lot. And that exercise is weighted pull-ups. This is literally the best exercise for your back in existence that you can possibly do. And I know I'm hyping this exercise up a lot, but it really is such a good exercise. Even just in doing a couple months of using this exercise, I've already seen a significant amount of growth in my lats, particularly my left lat. So now I'm just going to tell you the exact system that I put myself on a couple months ago, which you can apply to your own workouts as well in order to pack on size and strength in your back, because this will build a lot of strength at the same time as building muscle. The exact sort of method that I put myself on is I do 5 sets of 5 reps of weighted pull-ups and then progressively overloading over time. So first of all, I'm just going to go over the progressive overload because I think this is pretty much the most important part. I'm sure that you already know what progressive overload is, but I'll explain it to you anyway. I find it kind of annoying sometimes how in fitness, like there's a lot of ideas like bulking and stuff like that, and then people just explain to you concepts that you already know, and it's kind of annoying. But anyway, so basically you want to increase the amount of weight that you lift each time, each session that you lift. So for example, last week on my pull-up I did plus 30 kg, and this week I did plus 32.5 kg on my weighted pull-up. So you want to increase the amount of weight each time, but you want to stick to that 5 sets of 5 reps. Why should you do 5 sets of 5 reps? Why not 3 sets of 5 reps or 1 set of 5 reps? I think anything in between 4 sets of 5 reps and 6 sets of 5 reps is going to be optimal. 5 to 6 sets is optimal for strength. You'll see a lot of powerlifters do quite a lot of sets in their workouts because they're not doing many reps. So that's why you need to do quite a lot of sets. I'd say anything in between 4 and 6, because I think 3 is a bit too little, and anything over 6 you can sort of, I mean, I'm sure it's okay to do. I haven't really tried doing anything over 6, so maybe give that a go if you have a lot of time to do it. But you might want to do you might not have that long at the gym, or you might want to do something else after weighted pull-ups. So if time is a constraint, then I think 5 to 6 sets is a good amount to do. So let's go over, most importantly, why 5 reps? Why not 3 reps, or why not 15 reps, right? So I think 5 to 7 is the sweet spot for building muscle. And a lot of people say that that's quite low for building muscle and you'll build more strength. Basically, a proven way to build muscle, and I'm not a scientist obviously, if you want science-based advice then just go to Jeff Nippard, but I'm just giving you simple advice. I'm not going to cite like 50 studies and then say incline bench press is 2% better for growing your chest or something like that. I'm just going to give you some practical advice which has worked for me. So I started doing 5 to 7 reps and then my lats grew. So if you want to take that advice, then it's up to you, obviously. Like I can't make you, obviously. But anyway, so I do 5 reps on each set, and for the first 4 or 5 sets, it depends how many sets you're doing. So if you're doing 6, then obviously 5. If you're doing 5, then 4. For all the sets apart from the last one, or even on the last one as well, you don't want to go completely to failure. But it is kind of nice to go to failure on the last set because it's kind of optimal for gaining size in your back and gaining muscle. You want to go to failure at least on the last set. So obviously you should be pushing yourself. It should be like you're almost getting there on your last rep. You should be pushing yourself on each set, but it shouldn't be to complete failure. And I'll tell you why. It's because, so say you go to failure on your second set, that actually makes your next set worse, your third set and your fourth set much worse, because just by doing that little extra half rep on your set, so say you do 5 reps clean and then, or cleanish, and then you go for a 6th rep and you sort of get it halfway and then you fail, that's actually made your next sets much worse. So it's just much better to just stop at the 5th rep and don't go any further. This is also going to help you gain strength as well, because I believe that if you're picking a weight which is heavy enough, if you go to failure, then you should not be able to achieve 5 reps on your 4th and 5th set or 6th set as well. I'm going to give you a complete beginner's guide on how to start weighted pull-ups. I don't really hear anybody talking about this on YouTube. So I hope this helps. What you do is first you achieve 10 clean pull-ups in a row. And then what you do, you buy a weight belt online. I'll put one on screen. And you basically buy that. It shouldn't be too expensive. And then obviously you need a pull-up bar for this. So just find a gym. You need to find some weights at your gym and then basically attach it to your weight belt. Make sure that the actual chain in your weight belt, I would recommend buying one with the chain, by the way. I'll put one on screen of the one that I actually bought, but any one is fine. I'm not trying to like sell you something. And then you want to basically attach the weights. Make sure that you put the chain through, I don't know how to explain this, but if you don't put the chain through like the other bit, it's hard to explain, but if you don't put it through that, then it won't work. So make sure that you do that. On your first time, you just want to test out how much weight you can handle on your weighted pull-up. So on my first ever time, I think I tried 10 kg and then I tried 15 kg and then I tried 20 kg. But the whole point was that 20 kg was pretty heavy for me then. And then now I've increased that weight all the way to 32.5 kg, I forgot, almost there. I also want to note that weighted pull-ups and pull-ups in general are an absolute fundamental, like your bread and butter of calisthenics is your dips and your pull-ups. And pull-ups, they're literally essential. If I could just tell you to do one exercise, it would be pull-ups, because I think they are the most effective exercise in building upper body strength. Other than dips, I say dips and pull-ups are probably on the same level. Obviously, I'm not really too much of a fan of dips because it grows your lower chest more than your upper chest a little bit. So I'm not, it's all right, like, it's good dips, it's a really good exercise. But anyway, pull-ups, it is just that fundamental exercise that you have to achieve. You want to get to the point where you can do at least 15 clean reps in a row. Also, doing weighted pull-ups has increased my pull-up, just bodyweight reps, by quite a lot, a considerable amount. So I used to be able to just do 12 pull-ups in a row. I mean, obviously it depends what time you sort of talk about. So maybe a year ago, I could maybe do 8 pull-ups in a row. And now I can do over double that. So it really has increased my just bodyweight pull-up reps by quite a lot. I don't hear many people talking about this, but sometimes it can be hard to actually stick to your sort of progressive overload, because you have to sort of try to calculate very specifically, and you have to try and get it as right as possible, how strong you think you are. So basically it can be hard to figure out exactly the amount of weight when you first start out on this method that you need to add in order to achieve that 5 sets of 5 reps. I personally have found this difficult, but you basically just need to sacrifice a few sessions. Here's what I would say to this. You need to just sacrifice a few sessions, just see, maybe go even a little bit on the light side, and just take an estimated guess at where you're at. And then if that was too easy, then next week you know you can add more weight. And then if that was too hard, then you know that you need to take some weight off next time that you do it. Also, another thing that I've been sort of a little bit confused about in the past, and I don't hear many people talking about this either, is how many days you actually rest between training weighted pull-ups. Because obviously you probably know that it's not, I mean, I should hope that you know that you shouldn't be training weighted pull-ups every day. Imagine how crazy it would be, right? If you could hit chest every day and then your chest will just grow. Like, imagine if volume equaled hypertrophy. But it's a shame because your muscles have to recover, and that's kind of annoying. But anyway, you just have to deal with it. So I would recommend waiting. I wouldn't train weighted pull-ups 2 days in a row. I would recommend waiting 2 days in between your pull-up training. So you train pull-ups on Monday, weighted pull-ups, you do your 5 sets of 5 reps, absolutely wonderful. And then you can hit wherever you want. So like chest on Tuesday or legs on Wednesday. So like chest on Tuesday, for example, and then legs on Wednesday. And then you can then go back to doing your weighted pull-ups on Thursday. But I would recommend taking a couple rest days a week, maybe 2. You don't want to be taking too many, obviously, but just don't train the same muscle 2 days in a row. As long as you do that, then you should be fine, really. And I understand it can be annoying because you're really like getting into weighted pull-ups and you want to do it as much as possible. But unfortunately, that's just not really the way that hypertrophy and strength gains really works. If you're sort of hungry for some more calisthenics and it's your sort of rest day from pull-ups, then you can just try to learn other skills. So I'd recommend trying to learn the handstand so you can do handstand push-ups, or maybe if it's your chest day, then you can do like weighted dips, or you can just have a different workout something else like your arms or something. And also, if you are in the gym, then you can still use the same method of weighted pull-ups in your other exercises. So you can do 5 to 7 reps. I wouldn't really just do sets of 5 reps. So if I'm doing another exercise like preacher curls or something, or I mean, I don't really do that many isolation exercises. For me personally, I do incline dumbbell press to build up my upper chest. But anyway, so you want to be utilizing the same thing of the 5 sets of 5 reps. I mean, 5 sets might be a little bit high. I only do 5 sets in the pull-up because I care about the movement, right? So, oh yeah, by the way, another thing is that you want to be sticking to your movement. So you have chosen weighted pull-ups. You don't do any other like lats, activation sort of exercise. You've stuck to weighted pull-ups. So for me, I've stuck to weighted pull-ups and incline dumbbell press, and then you progressively overload over time. If you're doing weighted pull-ups and then you're doing rows, and then you're doing barbell rows, and then you're doing lat pull down, and then you're doing rear delt flies, and then you're doing shrugs, then it's harder to progressively overload. You just want to be sticking to an exercise. It's hard enough to remember what you lifted last week. That's why sometimes in my phone, or not sometimes, every time, I always keep like a track in my notes app of weighted pull-up, and then I'll just write down the weight I did in last session. So I'll write 32.5 kg times 5 reps times 5 sets. And now I know what I did last time, and I'll do the same for other movements as well.